Things get crazier at Harvard than you would ever think. Harvard medical morgue manager charged with selling body parts. This is for real. The manager of a Harvard medical school's morgue was indicted on federal charges he stole body parts as part of a human remains trafficking conspiracy involving his wife and others. This is from Harvard. Cedric Lodge allowed buyers into the school's morgue to choose body parts from donated cadavers and transported heads, brains, skin, and bones to his home in New Hampshire, according to a 5-count indictment filed in Pennsylvania.
I think I saw this. Did you see what this guy looks like? Have you seen him?
No.
I think if it's the same thing I'm thinking of, he looks hilarious.
Oh,
like,
really?
He looks like a guy that does that.
Some crimes defy understanding, said the U.S. attorney. He called the conspiracy particularly egregious because victims had donated their remains for educating students and advancing science. For them and their families to be taken advantage of in the name of profit is appalling. My mom donated her body to science. I wonder if somebody drove her head.
Well, I think the entire population did around the time of the pandemic.
Yeah. Named as buyers in the indictment are Katrina McLean of Salem, Massachusetts, who ran a studio called Cat's Creepy Creations, and Joshua Taylor of West Lawn, Pennsylvania. Lodge's wife, Denise, is accused of shipping the remains and operating a PayPal account that received $37,355 in proceeds from the conspiracy. Jeremy Pauley, 41, of Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, was charged separately. A 7th, Candace Chapman Scott of Little Rock, Arkansas, was previously indicted in Arkansas. The defendants were all part of a nationwide network that bought and sold human remains stolen from Harvard Medical School and a mortuary in Little Rock where Miss Scott worked. This is really dark. According to federal prosecutors, from 2018 to 2022, Mr. Lodge stole parts from cadavers that had been donated to the medical school and dissected, including heads, brains, skin, and bones, before their scheduled cremations.
Yeah, they're not using them.
Well, if it was after their cremation, it wouldn't really.
Wow, using every part of the buffalo.
At times, Mr. Lodge, very respectful.
Yeah.
No, don't waste. Frugal doesn't mean cheap. It means you don't waste. At times, Mr. Lodge allowed Mrs. McLean, Mr. Taylor, and others into the morgue to choose which parts they wanted. On October 2020, prosecutors said Miss McLean agreed to buy 2 dissected faces for $600. Prosecutors said that Ms. McLean stored and sold remains at Cat's Creepy Creations, which advertises creepy dolls, oddities, and bone art.
I hope that they're, in all this spying, they're tracking everyone involved with this who bought that. Like, who's buying faces online?
In June or July of 2021, she shipped human skin to Mr. Pauley and engaged his services to tan the skin to create leather. From September 28 to July 2021, Mr. Taylor transferred more than $37,000 in electronic payments to Ms. Lodge for body parts that had been stolen by Mr. Lodge. In one transaction, Mr. Taylor sent Ms. Lodge $1,000 with a memo that read head number 7. Oh my God. As part of another payment, he sent Ms. Lodge $200 with a memo that read brains. Prosecutors said that Mr. Pauley bought remains from Ms. Scott, who stole body parts from the mortuary and crematory in Little Rock where she worked. And now you know the rest of the story. Trust science, Kurt.
I don't want to know the rest of the story, actually.
Yeah.
I'd like to end the story here and not know what became of...
I know.
Who's ordering... You know it ain't going to be something good. At best, it'll be creepy art. That's best case scenario.
That's best case. Wow. There was a serial killer in Wisconsin, I think. Ed Gein, I think was his name. And then he killed people and then he would make furniture out of them. Like he would.
Yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is partially based on him.
Oh,
so
really?
Psycho. They're all variations on Ed Gein. Ed Gein had the face mask made of, that's Leatherface.
And he would make like a lampshade out of their skin.
He had a bowl out of a skull to eat his beans out of.
I think it was Steve Seagrin had that joke. He goes, he wrote a book about it. It's called My Mother, My Shelf. Steve Seagram, funny. He's doing art now. I got to show you. Steve Seagram does some great art. Hey, come see us live on tour. We'll be in Bakersfield, Baltimore, San Francisco, Huntington Beach, Rosemont, and Chicago, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, New York City, Pottstown, Pennsylvania, Stamford, Connecticut, and more.
Hey,
Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.